And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. And we are in our last quarter of the year with this Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I'll be doing this for the whole month of November on every Sunday and Monday evening in November from 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Welcome again. I am Shanrae, and this is Counsel of the Day. This month, we're going to be talking about Dare to Dream. I wanted to end the year with talking about dreaming, doing something, getting the courage, and start making a preparation to do something that you've always dreamed to do, something that you always wanted to do. Excuse me, give me one moment because I've been navigating through many different windows. So I'm trying to post on Instagram right now, trying to post the link. But again, welcome. If you're coming in, please like and share. Please like and share as you come in. And we're going to get started again. This month is Dare to Dream. Dare to Dream. Let me get back to my Facebook over here. And I have this new page here. I have to say, my all of my old pages on Facebook have been hacked, and it's been taken over. I've been locked out of my pages. And these criminals who have done it, they have been reaching out to every one of my contacts. They're trying to contact people to get money, get you to buy into some scheme, buy a biotin or something like that. And if y'all don't know me, no, I've never discussed money or anything like this on social media platform. My platforms are strictly business, strictly with my music and my counsel and these things like that. So this is my new page. Please share with other people. Let them know this is my official page. All of the other pages are just delete them, unfriend them. Although I have nothing to do with those pages. They've been hacked and taken over. All right. So let's move this along. Okay, again, this month is Dare to Dream, and we're going to be talking about stirring up some whatever dreams that you've been wanting to do. Let's move forward to trying to get these done. We have one life, and we should enjoy it as we go. All right, so I am a degree counselor, and I acquired my degrees from Ashford University. I have a degree in counsel and in psychology, excuse me, and in organizational management. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through a traumatic or stressful experience. And we all know that when human beings experience trauma or severe life stressors, that it is uncommon for their lives to unravel. It is not uncommon, excuse me. I help my clients, who include children, adults, and families, find healthy perceptions of themselves and strengthen their relationships so that they can know themselves as peaceful and complete and whole and safe. All right, so that's just my little short bio. I am a Christian degree counselor, so I want to move this along because this 30 minutes is going to go and come by so quickly. All right, so that's the bio. I just read that. All right, I'm going to read my website disclaimer before we get started. Okay, so please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, that there could be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. Okay, it should also be noted that due to changes in policies, that all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only, and will not constitute an official determination. Information that's provided by myself, other counselors, or counseling service are subject to the limitations of current and available material, but the final responsibility rests with you. Okay, with achieving it rests with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful, but however, this information can change frequently, and it is recommended that you, the individual, will consult another physician, another specialist, another religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness. Now, this is an open platform. This is an open forum. Good evening, Core CJ. How you doing? Good evening. So whatever we're talking about, if I will pause, if you have any questions, if you have any scenarios that you want to share, I will pause and I will highlight them, so we can, because this is an open forum, and this is like I said, we're here to just open up and just to talk and just to move into a better place. Okay. I'm sorry again. I'm on here working many platforms. All right, so let's move to our scripture for the month. I'm going to actually magnify this. So the scripture for the month is Deuteronomy 31:6. And it says that to be strong and courageous and do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you, and he will never leave you nor forsake you. Okay, be brave and be courageous. All right. So, those of y'all that are accustomed to my the way I do my counsel, I always give definition. So I'm going to open this up just a little bit so you can see tonight what this definition is. It's about change. All right. And so the definition that I chose is replace something with something or someone else, especially something of the same kind that is newer or better. Substitute one thing for another. So it's about replacing or substituting something for something new or something better. All right. So let's move this along. The keynotes for the key points for tonight. We're going to be talking about again the definition of change, the history of the author. The author of this study here with change, he gave a lot of personal scenarios of what's going on with him in his life. We're going to have the 10 rules of change that we're going to be talking about. And all this is moving into our subtopic of travel. This week, we're going to be talking about take a risk, travel, do something like that. And then we're going to have our takeaway and our quote for the evening. All right, so let's move this along. Change. And I'm going to blow this up very quickly, and then I'll pull it back down again. So as y'all can see, change. Okay, so change is a process involving 5 stages. Number 1 is pre-contemplation. You're going to contemplate whatever you're trying to, what you want to change. Then there's contemplation. You're going to pre-contemplate, then you're going to contemplate. Preparation, action, and then maintenance. These are the 5 different stages, processes of change. So the needs of an individual in one stage of change are different from the needs of another individual in another stage of change. But tonight we're going to be talking about you. Everybody has something that they want to change about themselves. They maybe want to upgrade. They want to do something different. Maybe some people, I want to give an example. So a year ago, it's been a year? Yeah, a year ago, a cousin of mine from California, she know who she is. She came here to Atlanta from California to spend her birthday with my husband, myself, and our grown folk. And so we crunched a whole lot of activities in 2 days of her being here. Like everything was just boom, 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 boom. And she said for the first time ever, she never ever went bowling. And we were like, what? She never, ever, ever bowled. She was never interested in bowling, but that was one of the things that we took her to do, bowling. And she did it, and she did better than me. Her score was higher than mine. And it just broadened her perspective. It opened things up. She was like, even her family members was texting her while we were out because I was videoing and stuff. And they were like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm bowling. And I mean, killing it. And so she made a change. She traveled here from California, did something different on her birthday, and did something, went along with whatever agenda that I scheduled for her for those 2 days, and did some things that she never did before, which changed her perspective. Now she's like, man, bowling, I can't wait to do that again. So that's again, dare to dream. That she, even though it may not have been a dream of hers, but she was open to the experience and loved it, and like I said, and aced it when she did it. So this is what we're gonna be talking about: bringing out our dreams and our passions, and even experiencing some things, changing up our routine some for this month, and moving towards more excitement in doing things, but in a clean fashion now, in a pure way, not nothing dangerous. Okay. All right. So let's move this along because, like I said, this 30 minutes is gonna come and go quick. So it says the 10 rules of change. Okay, so change is never easy, but it is possible. And an expert offers 10 rules of changing. Let me open this and I'm going to close it back. I have a lot of slides, so I'm going to be moving quick and then moving back and forth, guys. Okay, so the author of this, or the study, the theorist on this, his name is Stan Goldberg. Okay, so he says that self change is tough, but it's not impossible, nor does it have to be traumatic. According to change expert Stan Goldberg, PhD, he lays out 10 principles that he deems necessary for successful change. Stan, the author, he gives pieces of his life. He said his mother died on Christmas Day of a massive heart attack. And he later counted 15 he later counted 15 self-help books on her shelves that she had, but found each one offered only broad ideas. None of them provided the specifics necessary to save her life. Good evening, Pam. How you doing? Okay, so like the author said, like his mother, many of us want to change, but simply don't know how to do it. He said after 25 years of researching how people change, he discovered 10 major principles that encompass all self-change strategies. So Dr. Stan said that he broke down these principles and he started using one example. One, a man's desire to be more punctual. This is the example they used. He said he demonstrated strategies for implementing change into his own life. Okay, so number one, let's move this on. Number one, the first thing, when I'm going to open this and then I'm going to close it back. Number one, it says, okay, so research psychologist James Prochaska, I'm saying it wrong, Prochaska, he's an internationally renowned expert on planned change, has repeatedly found out that change does occur in stages, and to increase the overall probability of success when it comes to wanting to change, divide a behavior into two parts. Okay, and then learn each part successfully. So let's use the strategy. The strategy says to break down your behavior. First, break down a behavior. Almost all behaviors can be broken down. All right, so separate your desired behaviors into smaller self-contained units. So this doctor wanted to be on time for work. This is the example that Dr. Goldberg is using. He said, so he wrote down what that would entail: waking up, taking a shower, dressing, preparing his breakfast, eating, driving, parking, and buying his coffee. All of this he wanted to do before 9 a.m. so he could be more punctual at work. And he started breaking his things down in stages. Now, me personally, I can relate to this because I am a native New Yorker, born and raised in New York. So there's a saying with native New Yorkers that you're gonna be late to your own funeral. That's what they say. You're gonna be late to your own funeral. And so I had an issue with being punctual. I still do. I honestly still do, but I'm not as late as I used to be. And so what I had to learn how to do was to break my things down with me. I prepare. I prepare things always the night before or the week before, all the way down to my undergarments, my socks, and everything. My bag's already prepared ahead of time. Everything is prepared so I don't give myself a reason to be late. I know I set in my mind, I have to set my phone. I set my alarm on my phone all the time. I give myself timers to help me make sure that I am on time or close to being on time. I may be 5 minutes late, y'all. That's when I get comfortable. I may be 5 minutes late. Okay, but 5 minutes is better than the 2 hours or the 1.5 hours that I used to be late. So I can relate to this doctor and how he had to break things down into stages. Number two, let's move this along. Number two. Okay, let me open this. All right, change is frightening. Change is frightening. Okay, so Dr. Goldberg, he said, we resist change. Everybody resists change because the fear of the unknown can result in clinging to status quo behaviors, no matter how bad these behaviors are. So, this is a strategy that Dr. Goldberg has given. He said, examine the consequences. Compare all possible consequences of both your status quo and then the desired behaviors that you want. So if there are more positive results associated with the new behavior, your fears of the unknown are then unwarranted, or they can be just erased. Okay, or at least decreased, diminished. So if this doctor didn't become more punctual, the next thing he'd be late for is the unemployment office. So the doctor had to start implementing a better routine because he was going to lose his job. All right. So there was definitely a greater benefit to changing than to not changing. All right. So again, this is another strategy. Prepare your observers. So new behaviors can frighten the people observing them. So introduce them slowly to people. Okay. Becoming timely overnight would make coworkers very suspicious. So he started arriving by 9 a.m. only on important days, though. So another strategy here is to be realistic. Okay. So unrealistic goals increase fear. Fear increases the probability of failure. Mornings found him sluggish, so he began preparing the night before, like I started to do, and doubled his morning time. Okay. So again, number two here is change is frightening. So let's move on to number three. And I'm gonna magnify this. Let me open this. Okay, number three says change must be positive. Change must be positive. So this is who I follow. This is one of the theorists that I followed. B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner, his early research demonstrates reinforcement, not punishment. Reinforcement, not punishment, and which is necessary for permanent change. Okay. Reinforcement can be intrinsic, extrinsic, or extraneous. All right. So, according to Carol Sanson, who is a PhD, a psychology professor at the University of Utah, one type of reinforcement must be present for self change. So, two would be better than one, and three would be best. But let's start where we are. Pam said, that's good. I'm glad you enjoying this, Pam. Thank you. All right. So, one of the strategies that Dr. Goldberg said is to enjoy the act of changing. Enjoy it. Intrinsic reinforcement occurs when the act is reinforcing. Okay. He loved dressing well. This is the doctor, the example they was talking about. Seeing his clothes laid out at night was a joyful experience for this doctor. So that was one of the strategies. He was enjoying the act of it. Another strategy was to admire the outcome. Okay, so an act doesn't have to be enjoyable when the end result is intrinsically reinforcing. For instance, I hate cleaning my kitchen. This is what Dr. Goldberg says. I hate cleaning my refrigerator. I really do. But I do it because I like the sight of a clean kitchen. And this is what Dr. Goldberg was saying. After dressing, he looked in the mirror, and this is his example. He was talking about the doctor who was always late. After dressing, he looked in the mirror and enjoyed the payoff from his evening preparation. He looked impeccable. And so, another strategy that this doctor used was rewarding himself. So, extraneous reinforcement isn't directly connected to the act or its completion. A worker may despise his manufacturing job, but will continue working for a good paycheck. Most of us work for a good paycheck and we may not love what we do. Okay. So whenever he met his target, This doctor put $20 in his Hawaii vacation fund. Ding, 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 ding. This week we talking about travel. We talking about travel. So listen, I like what he did, how he rewarded himself. And I think that this is a great idea. Now he's able to put $20 back into his Hawaii vacation. Another way you can do this is go on and book a vacation, book a cruise, book something, go book a vacation, put your down pay on it, book your vacation out at least 6 months from now. And then you can pay on it. I know with cruises, you're able to pay on your vacation up until 90 days before you leave for your vacation. So if you want to do something like that to reward yourself for the change that you're making, the positive change that you're making in your life, I would suggest do it. Again, this week we're talking about dare to dream, travel. Dare to dream, travel. So this is right up our alley right here. All right, so number 4, Dr. Goldberg says the 4th strategy to use when it comes to changing. And let me open this up. Okay. Is it not? It don't want to open? Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Where we at? Number 3. Being is easier than becoming. Being is easier than becoming. So the PhD Dr. Goldberg says in his karate class of 20 students, the instructor yelled, "No pain, no gain." All right. Amid grueling instructions. So after 4 weeks, only 3 students stayed in the class. Uncomfortable change becomes punishing. And rational people don't continue activities that are more painful than they are rewarding. Okay, so strategy, a strategy he's giving for this is he's saying to take baby steps. Now, I want to give an example. About 2 years ago, I started a jump rope challenge. I was all in. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I want to start it again, but I have to be careful because I was unfortunately got up on the doctor's orders because I injured myself by doing it. Now I stretched. I thought I stretched enough. I stretched. I did some things. When I started the jump rope challenge, I was doing good for about a month. Oh my gosh, 100 jumps, at least 100 jumps a day. And I loved it because it made me think back when I was a child. I used to love jumping rope when I was a child. And it was a rewarding way to exercise. I enjoyed it. But unfortunately, it caused some flare ups in my body and I had to stop it. I'm going to ask my doctor, can I start it again soon? I miss doing it. And if he allows me to do it once or twice a week, I'm going to get right back on my jump rope challenge because it was exercise, but it was also rewarding to me. I loved it. I was getting my exercise in, some cardio, some extra cardio outside of just walking or riding a bike. And this is what Dr. Goldberg is talking about here. All right, so being is easier than becoming. All right, so Dr. Goldberg said in one San Francisco State University study, researchers found that participants were more successful when their goals were gradually approximated. Pamela said, that's her favorite quote. It motivates me to keep exercising. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, it does. So Dr. Goldberg was saying that researchers found that participants were more successful when their goals were gradually approximated. Write down the behavior that you want to change. Then to the right, write your goals. Okay, so on the left hand side, write down the behavior you want to change. Draw a line down. On the right hand side, write down what you want to change about it. Okay, and then draw 4 lines between the 2 of them, and then write a progressive step on each line that takes you closer and closer to your goal. So it's going to be line, line, and line, 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 like that. So you can make your notes in between. I really like this. I'm actually going to start doing this myself. This is some good ideas Dr. Goldberg is talking about. So the first week, the doctor would arrive by 9:20 a.m., then 5 minutes earlier each subsequent week until he achieved his goal of getting to work at 9 a.m. All right, so a strategy is simplify your process. Listen, a lot of y'all know I'm multifaceted, so I'm a singer. I'm a singer by nature, and I'm an artist. And when I teach music, when I teach vocal lessons, I simplify. Like if a person wants to come to me and want to learn a song, I research it. I find out what type of learner they are, and then I learn, and then I simplify whatever I'm going to teach them. I simplify it and teach it that way. That simplifying a process to me is the greatest way to achieve any goal. So methods of changing are often unnecessarily complicated and frenetic through simplicity, clarity. Okay, so let me say that again. Methods of changing are often unnecessarily complicated and frenetic, but through simplicity, clarity always arises. Instead of waiting in line at Starbucks, the doctor started buying the coffee in his office building. So, a strategy here: prepare for problems. This is realistic. Always prepare for problems. Always plan for some form of problem or failure to happen. Perfect worlds never, they don't exist. We all know that. There is nothing perfect in this world, and neither do perfect learning situations. Okay, Pam, he has a Pamela on here that he's talking about. So, Pamela Dustin, PhD of Clemson University, found queuing to be an effective strategy. Queuing, Cueing. His alarm clock failed to rouse him, and this has happened to me several times too. So for the first month, he used a telephone wake up service. Now, a lot of times our phones and everything now, we use our cell phones to wake us up. So even if you use a regular clock or something, and if your power happens to go out, your cell phone, as long as it's charged, your cell phone is still gonna work. So I prefer use your cell phone. Use your cell phone to maybe to put your alarms on there. It's a great, great, great way to help you be on time or whatever. Okay, so let's move this along. All right, we're gonna move this along to number 5. And let's magnify this. Number 5 says that slower is better. I keep clicking this and it's just doing what it want to do. Slower is better. Everything has its own natural speed. We know that. Everything has its own natural. When altered, unpleasant things happen, change is most effective when it occurs slowly, allowing behaviors to become automatic. So here's a strategy: establish calmness. Okay, life is like a stirred up lake. Allow it to calm, and the mud will settle. Okay, clearing the water. The same is true for change. So to make mornings less harried for this doctor, he no longer ran errands on his way to work. His strategy that he used was to appreciate the path of it, appreciate the path that he was doing. So author Ursula Le Guin once said that it's good to have an end to journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end. So I'm gonna say that again. It's good to have an end to journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end. So don't devise an arduous path. It should be as rewarding as your goals. Okay, remember, we're gonna have to take the good with the bad. You're gonna have to, accept the good with the bad. Whatever you can change it, because change does come slowly. Okay, so this doctor, he enjoyed almost everything involved in being punctual. The coffee could be better, but it was a small price to pay for him to keep his job. Because you know that's serious if they was threatening to fire the doctor because he was always late. Okay. Number 6, let's move this along. I'm going to magnify this and we're going to move to number 6. All right, strategy number 6. We can't see that because it did something funny. I don't know. Oh, it says no more, do better. Okay, and those of us that are Christians, we know the saying, when you know better, you do better. Okay, or to whom much is given, much is required. That's the word of God there. So surprise spells disaster for people who are seeking change. Surprises do. Knowing more about the process allows more control over it. So here's a strategy: monitor your behaviors. Some therapists insist on awareness of both current and desired behaviors, but research suggests that it's sufficient to be aware of just how the new one is. So, in a journal, the doctor recorded the time taken for each step of work preparation. And here's another strategy that he used: request feedback. So, a study in the British Journal of Psychology found that reflecting on personal experiences with others is key to successful change. But because complimenting new behavior implies that the observer disliked the old behavior, it can make observers feel uncomfortable. So, if, for example, if you were once demeaning to people, few would now say it's nice talking with you since you stopped being a jerk. Okay, so give the observer permission, suggests Paul Schultz, who was the PhD of the University of Georgia, and you will receive feedback. Give them permission. All right. So this doctor, every Friday, he asked a friend how well he was doing with his time problem. Okay, here's another strategy. Understanding your outcome. Understand your outcome. Success is satisfying, and if you know why you succeeded or failed, similar strategies can be applied when changing your these other behaviors. So every morning, the doctor analyzed why he did or did not arrive to work on time. Okay, reassessing everything that we're doing. Reassess your behaviors. It's okay to reassess and tweak. I reassess things and I tweak them all the time. Okay, and like you said, people will give you feedback. You can ask someone to be an accountability partner for you, and ask them, are they seeing a change in you, or you can just start recording yourself to see if you see change in your own self, you know what I mean by is jotting down certain things. You know. All right, so let's move this along. We're moving on to strategy number 7 now. And we still can't see that. It uploaded so weird on here. Change requires structure. Woo, that's a bad word for most people. Structure. Most people don't like structure. But it is necessary for change. I'm talking about change for the better. All right, many people view structure as restrictive, something that inhibits spontaneity. But everything can't be spontaneous in life. Everything cannot. While spontaneity is wonderful for some activities, it is a surefire method for sabotaging change. So here's a strategy. Identify what works for you. Okay, classify all activities and materials that you're using as either helpful, neutral, or unhelpful in achieving your goals. Eliminate unhelpful ones. Make neutrals into positives and keep or increase the positives. Okay, and after evaluating, the doctor, after he started evaluating his morning routines, he replaced time-consuming breakfast with quick protein drinks so he can get where he's going. Here's another strategy that he used. He revisited his plans regularly, which means he checked up on what he was doing. If he needed to tweak it, he did that. So review every day how and why you're changing and the consequences of success and failure. So research by Daniel Willingham, a psychology professor at the University of Virginia, showed that repetition increases the probability of success. So each night he reviewed his plan, smiled, and said, Hawaii, here I come. So he was rewarding himself quite frequently. Okay. Here's another strategy. Logically sequence your events. So, according to behavior expert Richard Fox, PhD, a psychology professor at Penn State University at Harrisburg, it's important to sequence the aspects associated with learning a new behavior in order of level of difficulty or timing. So he completed all bathroom activities, then he ate his breakfast. This is what the doctor did. Now, let me go back. And let me put this towards those that have been desiring to travel. A lot of us have come out of COVID. We've all come out of COVID. COVID changed the face of everything with us in the world. I was accustomed to going on cruises at least 2-3 times a year. When COVID hit, the last 2-3 years, I have not gone on a cruise. I'm practicing what I preached. We know that there's still some little things going, but we have safety things in place. I'm going ahead because I can't encourage y'all to do something and I don't do it. So I'm getting ready to put a down pay on a cruise right now for early next year. And so I'm going to practice now. Again, there's been some concerns, some serious concerns about traveling on a cruise because we know that's when the world really found out about COVID, when people were stuck on them cruise ships 3 years ago. And so I'm stepping out on faith. Things are better now. Like I said, we have precautions in place. I'm getting ready to book a cruise, and I'm gonna go away at the top of the year and just go and enjoy myself. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna start traveling again because travel is a great thing to do. It's a great way to meet people. Pam said, yes, it is. It's a great way to meet new people. It's a great way to just go out and enjoy your life. We work hard. We should play just as hard. It's a nice rewarder for us. I like what this doctor did here. He started putting $20 away in his piggy bank to go to Hawaii. If you want to go to Hawaii, plan it, but make sure that you plan it or do a realistic, do it 6 months out. I'm going to do this for in 6 months. I'm going to go in a year. Do it, make it happen. And the way you can do it is if you don't want to put no money away in a jar in a bank account, because sometimes emergencies happen and then you have to go get it. I would say the best way to do it is going to put your down pay on your trip and start paying on it if you don't pay it right out. If you can pay your trip up, then go on and pay it straight up, and that's it. And that's it. And it's done, and you'll go. Go and get your flight, do everything, and then start putting your money, your spending money to the side. All right. So number 8, practice is necessary. And I'm going to open this up. Practice is necessary. Okay. Change requires structure. Practice. Okay, let's move this. Oh, okay, and practice is necessary. Practice is definitely necessary. All right. So practice is another key approach to change. A change suggests one study on changing conscious experience published recently in British Journal of Psychology. The doctor found out that the majority of failures occur because this principle is ignored. Practice makes new behaviors automatic, or practice makes perfect. Okay, and a natural part of who we are. But you got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent with your new behaviors. Here's a strategy: use some helpers. Not all behaviors can be learned on your own. So sometimes it is useful to enlist the help of a trusted friend or a therapist or someone else. So when even the telephone answering service failed to wake him up, this doctor, his example, he asked his secretary to call him. Now I have definitely done that in my process of changing with being on time. I've asked different. I used to ask my mom, could you call me at this time? Make sure I'm up. I used to ask my sister, call me because she would be up. She had to be to work by a certain time, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'll tell her, please call me to make sure that I'm up so I can get to work. I had to be to work at 8. So it does help. Here's another strategy: practice this in a whole lot of different settings. Okay, so if you want to use a new behavior in different environments, practice it in those or similar settings. All right, dubbing this generalization, psychologists T.F. Stokes and D.M. Baer found it critical in maintaining new behaviors. All right, so during the first week, the doctor would try to be punctual for work. The following week, he would try to be on time for his regular scheduled tennis games. Okay, so he started crossing it over to pleasure, not just business, but pleasure. All right, so we coming to the closing of this. We are on number 9. We are on number 9. Let me open this up. We are on number 9. Number 9. It says new behaviors must be protected. New behaviors must be protected. So even when flawlessly performed, new behaviors are fragile and they disappear if they're not protected. Control your environment. That's a good strategy. Environmental issues such as noise and level of alertness may interfere with learning new behaviors. So, after identifying what helps and what hinders, increase the helpers and eliminate the rest. Having a nightcap before bed made it difficult to wake up in the morning for this doctor, so he started avoiding alcohol after 7 p.m. Here's a strategy: use your memory aids. And because a new behavior is neither familiar nor automatic, it's easy to forget anything that helps memory, that helps your memory is beneficial. So the doctor kept a list in each room at his apartment describing the sequences of things to be done and the maximum allowable time to complete them. For instance, I write everything down. I have a list. I keep lists of everything in my phone, which is digital. I keep it. So when I'm going to the grocery store, I have a list. I I try my best not to stray from my grocery list or my household list when I'm shopping, because then you're spending extra money. So I make sure that I even do that. When I'm going away, when I get ready to go away and prepare to go away, I have a list of things that I have to check off and do before I go away. Number one, contact the bank. Let them know that you're going out of town, whatever, what date you're going out of town. So when you go out of town, if you use your bank card, you're able to use your bank card. They don't shut it down. That's important. So it's a lot of different things that I write down and I prepare for the life. And I'm going to keep talking about travel because travel is this week. There's some things that you want to do. Jot it down. Start writing down where you want to go. Give yourself a time frame. Research how much it costs to go where you're going to go. How many days are you going to go? Give yourself a time frame. I want to go in this month. If I don't go in this month, then my alternate month will be this time. And then make it happen. Do your research. Do your down payment. But make your list. It is important. Use your memory aids. Again, I use my cell phone as my memory aid for everything. And I'm telling you, I swear by it because it helps. You can even set your alarm to remind you of the reminders that you wrote yourself. That's why I love my phone, because I use that all the time. My reminders pop up all the time. I put it on the calendar, it'll pop up. All right. So, number 10, and the final strategy for change. And let me open this up for this evening. Small successes are big successes. Yes, the small successes are big successes. Pamela says, I have a full routine in the morning, and someone just told me that I must cut something out to make it on time. But I feel as though everything that I'm doing in the morning is essential. Okay, Pam, so set your alarm clock a little earlier than in the morning, because if you feel like everything that you're doing on your list is essential, then it is essential to you. You know what you need to do in order to get going for the day. So if you wake up at 6 in the morning, you might have to set your alarm clock 30 minutes earlier. If you hit the snooze button one time, at least you'll get up 20 minutes before that time, and you'll be able to squeeze everything in that you need during the morning to go on and do whatever. I mean, because only you know your routine, what you need to do in order to function throughout the day. So start by maybe setting your alarm clock maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes a little earlier than usual, so you can squeeze everything in. Everything will be squeezed in, and you still won't be rushing in the morning. So try that. Try that. Change your time up a little bit. A little bit. Get up a little bit earlier, and it may work. Let me know how that works out for you, Pam. All right. So number 10, small successes are big successes to me. So unfortunately, plans for big successes often result in big failures. So focus instead on a series of small successes. Excuse me. Each little success, excuse me, build your reservoir of self-esteem. One big failure devastates it. So here's a strategy. Map out your successes. Approach each step as a separate mission, and you'll eventually arrive at the end of your goal. And for each morning activity that this doctor completed within his self allotted time limit, he rewarded himself by putting money into his Hawaii getaway fund. So the process of changing from what you are to what you would like to become can be either arduous, or excuse me, which is could be something that's not going to happen and frustrating, or just something that's very complicated or frustrating, or it can become easy and rewarding. So the effort required for both paths are the same. Choose the first, and you'll probably recycle yourself endlessly. All right. Apply these 10 principles and change. And once only a slight possibility becomes an absolute certainty. So the choice is yours. Change is possible. I say this every time I do a segment on here, I do a session. Change is possible. But the thing is, we gotta want it, we gotta do it, we gotta practice it, and we gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with it. You can't let it go. You gotta stick with it. All right. So Stan Goldberg, PhD, he's a private therapist, a change consultant, and an author of 4 books on change. And he's the one that I chose this is the theorist that I chose to highlight tonight when it comes to change. Again, change, and the subtopic this week is travel. Those a lot of people, again, it's the end of the year, and a lot of people are starting to begin getting ready for their New Year's resolutions. Listen, a lot of times most people say, I'm gonna start exercising more, I'm gonna eat better. Why don't we say that I'm gonna travel more? I'm going to enjoy my life a little bit more too with it. But most people are not made of money. So we have to plan these things out. Go on and make this and put it into place. Make this a resolution. Make your dream come true. Choose a place. I don't care if it's something as simple as I want to go to Aiken, Alabama, because they have something there that I want to see. Make it happen. Do it. It don't have to be a one big place. Make it. I decided to do this. I started this in August. I said every on my off day from work, every off day, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to a new restaurant. I'm gonna try a little eating area. I don't eat a lot, but just to try something different. Go drive somewhere and just try a new eating area. And if I like it, I like it. And if I don't, I don't. It was just something that I wanted to do instead, because I'm very strategic. I'm a very routine person. So in order to break this, I said on my off days from work, every day I'm gonna go. Every off day I'm gonna go and try a new place, and I have been enjoying doing this. I have been enjoying it, and I'm gonna keep doing this. Going to, I mean, you don't have to, I don't have to spend a lot of money, but it's just getting out of the routine, and I've just truly been enjoying this. All right, so let me move this along, because woo, my time, oh my gosh. All right, so the takeaway and the quote for today is: progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. And this is by Dr. George Bernard Shaw. Dr. George Bernard Shaw. Progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Okay? And we know as Christians, we can do all things. All things. I don't even have to repeat the rest. Y'all know we can do all things. Okay? All right. So, if there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae series that you've missed or just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please subscribe and select any past series that you want to watch. All right. I'm a professional one-on-one counselor, and I offer up professional one-on-one counseling services. So if you're interested in one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me via my Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens. Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens. All right, or via my email at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life goals and your life dreams. All right, so this has been Counsel of the Day, the first night for the month. I come on every Sunday and Monday night. For this month of November, I'll be talking about Dare to Dream, different subtopics throughout this evening. Normally, my topics are only 30 minutes. We ran a little over tonight. This is the first night, and I will see y'all for part 2 of Dare to Dream Traveling tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, Facebook at Shanrae Owens, or on YouTube, Shanrae Price, or Twitter, Shanrae Price. See y'all tomorrow night. Have a wonderful evening. Bye. See you tomorrow night right here, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye.